Welcome to my channel, and in this episode I'm going to tell you how we actually grew two agencies in the real estate investing space from $0 to $200,000 a month, and another one from $0 to $100,000 a month. Most importantly, I'm going to tell you how you can actually grow any marketing agency from $0 to over $200,000 a month. Since 2019, I've been working as a freelance, and then I became an agency owner in 2020, where I learned to actually build a team, give results to clients in the real estate investing space. And now I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. You're going to be getting a few nuggets out of this. So take down some notes. Make sure that you understand my step-by-step processes and all my mistakes and failures that I actually did, and the things that I learned as I grew my company and became a multi-million-dollar agency owner. So if you haven't noticed, I have a banana right in here. And the reason why I have this banana is because I wanted to grab your attention. That's one of the first principles that I want to teach you, is that I learned to grab attention of people from the very beginning, and that's how I got my first clients. So let me put this banana here where it's supposed to be. When I started my agency, I actually started as a freelancer, and I did it while holding a job at one of the top companies in the United States and Europe called Fiat Chrysler Automotive, that right now is called Stellantis. I did a bunch of freelance, and I learned how to fulfill for different niches such as the gym space, the lawyer space, the HVAC space, the real estate agent space, real estate investor space. And I actually did it with a company based in Canada from a friend of mine that actually taught me a lot of the things that I know right now. His name is Juan Colicchio from the company LGG Media. In fact, he's actually one of the preferred companies that Hyros uses to do hire setup and actually run marketing campaigns on a performance level. And I worked with him in a 50-50 split, which means that when I started my company, I did not know what lead generation was. He introduced me to the idea of lead generation. Back then, back in 2018, I was trying to do everything. I see Gary Vaynerchuk telling me, hey, try this, try that, try that. Grant Cardone was coming up, and he was putting a lot of marketing, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of advertising, and he was teaching you about marketing and sales. And Gary Vee used to say, hey, you have to try everything until you find that one thing that you're gonna go all in, because when you don't try anything, you're not gonna know what you like. You're not gonna know what you're good at. So I did Amazon FBA, I did my own private label, I did drop shipping, I learned e-commerce, and I wanted to get into entrepreneurship while I was holding my job. Don't get me wrong, I was actually making over $80,000 a year. Some years I would make 84, 87. Just depends on the amount of time that I was able to put into that job in that year, because I was working for the top companies in the United States as a 24 years old. In 2019, my friend Juan Colicchio told me, you have skills that may be relevant to what we're doing in our agency, which is lead generation. And I learned what a lead was, I learned how to generate leads, and I took a Facebook ads course that taught me the principles of this. Back then, I used to split everything with him 50-50. I used to do the fulfillment, I used to do the sales, and I used to do everything in the back end so that he can just teach me what to do, how to do it next. And he just paid for all the software, and he taught me all the things, and sometimes saved some clients if there was some difficulty with these clients. So what I did was I put all my free time that I had into working essentially for free, because if we didn't get a client and if we didn't fulfill, I wouldn't get paid. He had nothing to lose because he had someone that would generate the leads, someone that would take care of the clients, do the sales, and even do the actual fulfillment. So I learned at that time that it's okay to actually work for free. And in fact, this is something that my mom has actually taught me in the past when I was a kid. You have to earn the right to earn money. And it's okay if you work for free at the very beginning. It's okay if you do an internship. It's okay if you do a volunteering. In fact, it's actually one of the fastest and easiest way for you to get into something really good, learn it really good. Because imagine if you actually go to a marketing agency and you tell them, this is what I can do for you, and I'm willing to put in the time, I have these skill sets. I know that I need to refine them, but I'm putting all my effort, my sacrifice, and my passion into your company because I want to see your company grow. And I did that for a long period of time, worked for LGG Media. And I did it with different clients. I actually used to say, hey, I'm willing to work for free for 14 days and sometimes it was 7 days in exchange of a testimonial. And I would do that with prospective clients, and some of them, they actually turned out to be an actual client. Why? Because I hooked them with that free work, the free willing of putting my time and my effort, my capability into their company. And after that, I was able to keep them as client because they saw my good work. So the lesson that I learned here is that if you go to a company that is already established and you show them that you can do something for them, whether that's sales, whether that's marketing, whether that's doing video editing, and you give it to them and you tell them, hey, this is exactly what I'm gonna do for you. And you show them, you give them the proof that that's exactly what you're gonna do for them, then give you a job in the future. But not only that, you're going to also learn from them, under them. That is one of the biggest things that I did. I did it for 8 months, 10 months, and it turns out that I actually learned about Facebook ads, client fulfillment, dealing with clients, sales, and I learned way more during that period of time than I want to learn in my 4 or 5 years of university studies. So in fact, use every single time that you have to giving back to someone that already has made it. Go to the top. Try to actually talk with the best people in town. Try to talk to the best people in the company that you work with and give them value. And when you do that, they're gonna give you an opportunity. And be persistent, because a lot of people are not gonna really give you the chance right away. You have to go to so many. Don't get discouraged if you actually are not getting the right opportunity, because you have to hit 100 to even get one. So this was in 2019. I started getting clients with my friend. We started fulfilling some clients. I started splitting everything 50-50. And look, it was good pay for me because we were charging $1,500 per client, and that was Canadian money. So that was $750. In the US was way less, but I was putting in the extra time. I was learning new skills. I didn't care what I was getting paid, to be honest. Because remember, I also held a full-time job, and I didn't actually quit my full-time job before I knew that I could do something about it. So 2019 was just me learning this new sets of skills. And I remember that in January 5th of 2019, I actually paid off my entire school education that I did in university for Carleton University, $60,000. And the reason why I was able to pay for my entire school debt was because I saved money. I lived frugally. I remember I used to live in a small room in Royal Oak, Michigan, where I used to pay $500, $550 per month on just a room. And it was not the best house. It was kind of like a crappy house. And I was living under not the best circumstances and not under the best roof or the most comfortable place, just because I knew that there was something bigger and a long time horizon that was gonna give me the return that I needed. So I waited months and months and years to not live in a really good place, not having to pay this amount of rent per month. Because don't get me wrong, some people were paying $1,500 a month on a rent for their own place. And I used to look at them and I was like, wow, like I wish I could just live like this. But I knew that I wanted, one, to pay off my school, and two, just get that skill of being able to save and invest into myself, because I knew that that money that I was making, that I would just splurge that money into rent and other, and other things that were more expensive. And instead, I decided to buy books, buy courses, just reinvest back into better tools. I bought a new laptop, I bought a phone. I was able to just spend more time into things that would just be giving me back for the long term. And then in the future, I'll decide whether I'm gonna spend more amount of money for living. Right now, I live in Miami and I spend close to $4,000 for just one bedroom apartment, which is kind of crazy. But I have the luxury of doing that because we're making millions of dollars every single year. So I remember that after I paid off, I lived frugally. I was able to take my parents on their first vacation on me. So I paid for the entire vacation. And I remember that feeling of fulfillment, of being able to do something for someone else. And you see, the biggest lesson there is you have to do things not for yourself, but for others. And that's how you ultimately get fulfillment. I always find fulfillment not on giving me the things that I want, but giving the people that surround me and that I love what they want and how they feel comfortable because it came from me. And that lesson is something that I live off right now in everything that I do with my team. I'm way less selfish and more selfless. So by the end of 2019, I remember my birthday, we split with my partner. My unofficial partner, Juan, and he literally kicked me out of everything. He removed my access, and that time he had another partner and did not understand. And he took a few of my clients. Hey, we're good now, but he took a few of my clients, and I had to basically start from scratch. Luckily, the work that I was doing, the goodwill that I was doing in the marketplace had given me some sort of brand. And let me tell you, so from the very beginning, I started working on my brand within a niche. So I had fallen in love with real estate wholesaling and investing, and I attended all these seminars and all these courses for wholesaling and flipping houses. And I was interested in actual flipping houses, but I also was given a lot of value in Facebook groups in Detroit. So I used to say, hey, if you don't know how to generate motivated sellers from Facebook ads, these are the first 5 principles that you gotta apply in order to generate motivated sellers from Facebook ads. This is the winning ad. This is the winning video. This is what you should say in your ads. So I used to post this in the Facebook group, and people used to recognize me because I used to give value for free. And at the time, this is a concept that Alex Hormozi talks about, is that give good work and free value to the marketplace, and that is going to be reflected in the future. It doesn't matter if you don't make money out of it, but the market will recognize it. This is goodwill. As a matter of fact, Frank Kern talks about this all the time. Goodwill will pan out, and it will be the biggest investment that you do for your brand, because people know that you're giving things for free on the good heart, good value, and this builds out credibility, familiarity, builds out trust, and guess what? With trust, that's how you breed sales. So over time, I started posting on my Facebook group, and this is one big valuable lesson that I did, because that's what grew my brand within the space. If you don't put an effort into your brand from the very beginning, you're literally leaving a lot of money on the table, which means that whatever you could have done from the very beginning, and let's say you started with cold calling, you started with SMS marketing, you started with sending direct mail, or maybe just driving for dollars, or let's say if you're an agency owner, if you start just by running ads or doing cold email, cold DMs, but you don't build your brand, no one is gonna remember you. The moment that you stop your marketing, the moment the leads are gonna stop coming. Right now, we get organic leads every single week because I build out a brand from the very beginning in the space, and I was willing to play the long-term game. So just like whenever you start doing SEO on Google, which is something we didn't do, it's gonna be the long-term game. It's gonna give you potential clients and opportunities as you grow, because you put an effort into Google, into Bing, into the search engines, and that effort is gonna pan out in the future. That is the biggest skill that you can exercise right now, because you have time and you can just give back, and it's going to pan out in the future. Trust me, life, business, people will give it back. Even if it's like a year or 2 or 3 or 4, 5 years, doesn't matter, 10 years, keep giving and it's gonna come back to you. So by the beginning of 2020, I started running my own thing. I started doing everything by myself. But there was also something that a lot of entrepreneurs have, which is a blessing and a curse. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do a lot of things. And I knew that I had the capability and the desire to do it because I had a lot of passion about it. I have a lot of fire for things. And I remember that I read this somewhere in a book, that in order to make it big into something, you have to be able to focus. If you don't focus, you're not gonna be in a tunnel where you see the light on the other side, which means that you're gonna be able to see great things in that tunnel. Why? Because when you start doing everything, you do nothing. When you learn everything and you try to apply everything and serve everyone and their mother, you really are a master of nothing. So I became a master of one thing and one thing only. And that was real estate wholesalers, real estate investors, Facebook ads, and lead generation. That's everything. Everything that I did. So I had one niche, one product, and one avatar. And this, what I learned in 2020, helped me catapult going from the $5,000 a month that I was doing with 2-3 clients to $25,000 a month. So in 2020, during the summer of 2020, I was already making $25,000. And back then I was only charging $1,500 a month. And how many clients is that? That's over 15 clients, which is kind of crazy if you think about it for one person. So I grew really fast. I was able to dive into only one niche. I was able to grow my brand through Facebook groups, and people understood I was the person to go to for Facebook ads. And I did it by just reaching out to people. I added them on my Facebook. I created a process where I would go into Facebook groups and just know that this person might be my specific avatar. And I told them, hey, it seems like you're a real estate investor. Do you, by any chance, do wholesaling or creative financing? And yes, I do. Why? Okay, well, we help real estate investors to actually get motivated sellers and more potential deals using online marketing. Is this something that you may be interested in? If you have about 10 to 15 minutes, I can actually jump into a call and tell you how we're going to be able to guarantee you to get more off-market deals. And then after that, I created a system to actually get booked appointments every single day. So I have packed up calendars and I can talk with these people, sell my product. And ultimately, this is how I went from $5,000 to $25,000. But there was one thing that I did not know that was really killing me and was not allowing me to enjoy life as I wanted. And at that time, I had so many clients and I was making a good amount of money for myself, $25,000 a month. That's pretty good for someone that is 25 years old and has never made that amount of money in the past. Trust me, guys, like I used to make money back in Chrysler. I used to make over $80,000 a year, but $25,000 a month, that's different type of money. A regular person does not make that. I was already close to being top 5% of income earners in the United States by just making $25,000 a month. Yeah, but I had no time. I was driving myself crazy. I couldn't enjoy the day-to-day. I moved to Florida and I wouldn't go out. I was wider than what I am right now. I wouldn't enjoy my girlfriend at the time. I couldn't enjoy my family. I wouldn't speak with anyone. And I was going insane. And this is something I learned just by intuition because I was driving myself crazy. Who can I pay the least amount of money, because I was cheap back then, and can do the same amount of work that I was doing in manual outreach messages and DMs, and that is willing to do it, and it's an opportunity for them. So I thought, okay, I know a few people in Colombia and I know a few people in Canada. Who would be better for it? There's people in Colombia that want a job in the United States, want to make money. And I knew people that spoke English almost as perfect as an American person or as me. And I reached out to that person and I told them, hey, there is this opportunity. Do you want to work for me and do you want to do this job and ultimately make $4 an hour? Is that good for you? And at the time, I was able to afford it, still trying to keep as much profit as possible, not pay for as much as possible. And that person accepted. It was a university student. In fact, she was my cousin, my Colombian cousin. She knew English really well. I knew that she knew English really well. And it didn't occur to me that I could actually hire someone from another country. And Colombia is a third world country, but there was a lot of talent. Why? Because people grow really well there. There's good values. People are very respectful, they're kind, but they're hustlers. They know their worth and they have high levels of education. They go to school, they end up doing all these big things. I went to school there, I was born there, so I know my people. So I gave them a chance, and that $4 an hour person was able to do appointment booking for me, was able to help me with systems, was able to help with my calendar. And now that I hated doing that, I just had to hire someone else to do that for me. And I focused on just doing sales. So the moment that I did that, and I gave the opportunity to this university student, which was my cousin. I went from $25,000 a month to $60,000 a month, which is crazy. And I remember that summer I was intending to grow, and I wanted to grow in a way that made sense. Again, I was very cheap. I'm not as cheap right now. I saw that there was one person actually running a coaching program called Seven Figure Agency at the time, which is now Agency Lab. So Joel Kaplan was an agency owner at that time that had a program to help marketing agencies to actually grow. So instead of me paying for that program, what I did was I reverse engineered that marketing company. The company that he used to own, Atlas, I literally reverse engineered, funnel hacked the out of that company, and I went to their funnel. I ended up booking a call. I pretended to be one of their doctors, and I went to the sales call, and that's where I met my business partner, Amir. And I learned that when you go to the Facebook ads library and you can see all their type of ads that they're running, their ad copy, their funnels, and you can go through the entire client journey. There's a lot of good things that other people are doing. And those good things come in from experience, from actually doing it over and over and over. I wanted to have a better sales process, a better presentation for my clients. So I pretended to be a doctor, and I'm sorry, Amir, but at that time I needed to do it. Now, I recommend that you benchmark your competitors, take the good things about your competitors, but don't just copy it. The greatest artists actually steal, but the okay artists just copy. So don't copy, just steal from other people. And this is in a good way, actually saying it in a good way, just take the best parts of that and make it your own. So after that, I decided to join Agency Lab because I knew there was a lot of value from the things that they were doing. But at this time, I was already making money. And I remember that I was in a pool, having fun with a few friends, and they told me, hey, let's jump into a call. I know that you've been trying to work with us. And at the time, my friend couldn't close me. His name is Damon. But Joel Kaplan and Sergio Tavares actually jumped into a call with me, and they closed me. I remember it was like a 10 to 15K program. So when I joined the program, I had no expectations and I just wanted to go in for the course. But what I realized is that their community and the people that have actually joined the program themselves were spectacular, amazing individuals. And that's what it really needed. If you go to a coaching program, if you go into a community, don't go in for the information, go in for the connections. I learned the valuable lesson that if you are not surrounded with the people that are in the same frequency as you, it's very hard for you to grow. When you are surrounded with the right people that are in the same thought process as you, in the same frequency, you vibrate with them, they're doing something similar, and they can teach you from what they're doing, you're going to catapult your way to success, right? So it's the power of energy. You're gonna be surrounded with people that have the same type of energy. And this is gonna give you better traction on whatever it is that you're doing. If you have a goal on becoming the best cook, go and surround yourself with amazing cooks or amazing chefs. If you have the goal of becoming an amazing freaking engineer, do the same thing with amazing freaking engineers. If you wanna grow a startup, go and hang out with great people at startups. So I joined this program and I found amazing people, and I did not think years before that I could have done it and my growth would have been faster. So I joined that program. I learned everything from a lot of the people that were in there. I joined all the group sessions and ended up being one of the best things I could ever do. I remember that from that program, I ended up meeting a lot of friends, a lot of people. In fact, a lot of the people that I know right now and that I hang out with is people from that program or people that know other people from that program. You know what I'm trying to say? So make your circle very tight, but very good.